Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan has gone back to the usual plot. When they want to divert from the domestic issues, they're essentially once again collaborating with the Chinese to reach out once again to their domestic audience. The recent attack that was carried out in Poonch is a classic example of a desperate Pakistan once again clutching onto their Chinese friend, hoping that India will divert their attention towards the Western front. In fact, it turns out that there is a larger game plan in picture. Tonight on The Burning Question, we not only expose the terror plot, but also put out the details of that major game plan.
India's heightened troop presence in Ladakh has frustrated China following the Galwan standoff. Top sources say the targeted attack in Poonch was a part of China and Pakistan larger conspiracy to revive terrorist activity in Jammu and Kashmir. Their only aim to mount pressure on the Indian army into redeploying troops from the Ladakh border back to Kashmir. Sources believe Pakistan, with potential Chinese backing, is attempting to force India to ease pressure on Eastern Front by reigniting terrorism in the West. Pakistan has allegedly infiltrated 25 to 30 terrorists into forest areas of Poonch to intensify attack on security forces and provoke responses. A day after the terrorist ambush, the Indian Army has launched a massive search operation on multiple fronts. With NIA team visiting Ground Zero, their only aim is to track the Pakistan terrorists now.
Terrorists have carried out fifth major terror attack in the Pir Panjal region in the year 2023. This attack has claimed the life of 5 martyrs of the Indian Army who gave terrorists a befitting reply and injured one terrorist who was part of this cowardice attack. The team of the Indian Army that was going as part of the additional reinforcement for the coordinated search operation that was launched based on a hardcore intelligence input was attacked by the terrorists.
Is China taking Pakistan's help to not allow India?
Well, in fact, going back to the top story that we have been tracking, ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan is back on it once again. This time, once again, reviving their old terror plot. Ladies and gentlemen, they aren't really alone. In the latest attack that has been carried out in Poonch, what one cannot take away, the fact that there is a tacit understanding with the Chinese. Just to put this into perspective, just about a few days ago, the interim Prime Minister of Pakistan made that comment about what exactly would Pakistan really do for China. And they said that we'll go to any extent to keep our Chinese friends happy. Joining us on The Burning Question tonight, General K.K. Sinha, General Sanjay Soy, Raja Faisal is joining us from Pakistan. First, to you, General Sanjay Soy, there is a larger picture that one needs to look at. And when I was speaking to some of my sources and also my colleague who is getting us more details on this entire operation that has been carried out, one cannot take away the fact that this is also an attempt to keep India completely divided when it comes to their focus on the Western and the Eastern front. Let's not forget the kind of the vantage point from where we carried out our operations after the Operation Snow Leopard. It really gave us that advantage on the LAC. Once again, bringing back the focus on the Western side would essentially mean that you have divided attention. So it's a typical Chinese ploy too.
Turn off the voice from your video side. Mute kar de us taraf se.
Absolutely, Shravan. In fact, there could be many reasons for this attack. One is that kind of peace which was returning to Kashmir. People were so happy. In fact, I'm just giving a couple of reasons, main reason. One is that peace, imagine last year 1.88 crore tourists visited, the schools were open, businesses were open, offices were open. People were having a sigh of relief, and nobody wanted the terrorists to come back. People had changed, their mindset has totally changed. Probably this was not being digested to the Pakistan, and they were trying to do something. And because of the inputs being received from the awam, from the local people, security forces were getting great successes. In fact, from 2018, the numbers have come down to 1/4. From 2001, and numbers have come down to almost 1/10 of the terrorist-related activities. So imagine this kind of reduction is there. On the other hand, probably now they were trying to take action in south of Pir Panjal, because before the passes closed down, the snow falls, they wanted to do something. This also shows the desperation. As you have rightly brought out, Pakistan, I feel, is like a puppet in the hand of China. Whether it is because of loan diplomacy, whether it is because of money power or the influence they have, or the weapon system they keep supplying, they have been using Pakistan as a puppet against India. And this time also, the kind of response they got it on after the Galwan, and during whenever they tried any misadventure, Indian Army proved their worth, and they repulsed any such their design. This is could be one of the reasons, what Shravan, you have rightly brought out, that so that the forces, additional forces which have been sent there, India is forced to pull them back for on the western front towards the Pakistan. However, I would like to bring out here, Shravan, that India is quite capable, and we have had plans to take 2.5 fronts under these circumstances, whether China, Pakistan, or these kinds of internal situations. We are quite capable, the troops are poised. In fact, the incident has taken place because of the tough situation, the conditions are tough, and one cannot rule out these kinds of incidents, but befitting reply is being given, and I'm sure the perpetrators of the incidents, like the Pakistan, whosoever is there, the adequate response would be given as has happened in the past. And this could be one of the reasons, Shravan, that to force us to withdraw some troops from the LAC so that China can have a better operational dominance, which will not happen, I'm sure.
Right.
Shravan.
Well, in fact, not just the China angle, which General Sanjay Soy, that you have brought out very well. Let's also take a look at what exactly is Pakistan really aiming at. Not to forget, 8th of February, where the elections are going to really take place. Look at the kind of tactical changes that have essentially been made. The launch pads are not what it used to be before 2016. It turns out civilian houses inside Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir is also now being used by the Pakistanis. Raja Faisal, just to quote what the Pakistanis had to say during the FATF, where you said that stringent measures would be taken to ensure that Pakistan is not a safe haven for terrorists. What would you say tonight when each of these terrorists, it turns out, has been trained not at the border areas of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, but at the hinterland where the kind of training has been given? Are they still what you've been calling non-state actors?
Shravan, thanks ever so much for inviting me to the show. And obviously, one remarkable achievement which I can see on your Indian channel is that previously it was just Pakistan who was mentioned related to Kashmir, but now suddenly you have started obviously blaming Chinese as well, which is a remarkable obviously achievement on behalf of India. And while talking about obviously cross-border terrorism, you have highlighted that somehow, India has been claiming about Pakistan that Pakistan is running some sort of, terror camps or anything like that. Previously, you have been highlighting it, and of course, Pakistan's army, they have been taking the international media to the marked locations as well, and nothing was found in there. And of course, there is a difference between terrorism and the freedom fight. If somebody in Pakistani side of the Azad Jammu and Kashmir, if somebody wants to obviously fight for Kashmir, obviously they consider Indian illegally occupied Kashmir as, an occupied territory, and they are fighting for it. They are fighting for it. And of course, I being a Pakistani as an individual, I always stand with them.
M4.
That it is
Okay,
their right
now please
to
tell me,
fight.
Raja Faisal, M4 carbine. Raja, it's not like any freedom fighter that you're really talking about. Please tell me which freedom fighter that, as you are essentially trying to point out, how do they really have access to M4 carbines?
Talking about my narratives, you started.
I'm asking you a question. You want to glorify, and you will not admit the fact. I understand that you are under the pressure of Pakistani army and the ISI. But please tell me, how do they have access to M4 carbines? How do they have access to that? How do they have access to answer my simple question? How do they have access to M4 carbines? Please tell me.
I'm trying to show you my side of the coin.
I'm asking you a question. How do you have access? How do they have access to M4 carbines? Please tell me.
Shravan, this is not the way. If you want my narratives to be highlighted in your show, that's why you obviously invite me for. But if you don't want to show them, then literally don't invite me.
I am asking you, but that does not prevent me from asking you a question, Raja. That does not prevent me from asking you a question. I think so. I have the liberty to ask that. That does not prevent me from asking you a question.
Yes, you can. But at the same time, if you can tell your team in the studio that they have to fix their audios as well. I was not given audio today. They called me. I'm still on the call, but I'm not getting any audios from their side. This shows that the technicalities you are trying to use in your program, they are barring me from listening to you. They are barring me from my voice to get to you, so that people who
That's
are
not
watching
true.
us,
That's not
you're
true.
portraying.
There is no, Raja, that is being fixed. Raja, even that echo problem, the problem that you're facing is not only with you. It's not with you. Even the other guests are going through. We're trying to fix that out. But that's not the issue. Why don't you answer the question? You can very well hear my question. Please answer that.
Narratives are not being highlighted in your show, Shravan.
I am giving you the freedom. Please go ahead. Answer my question.
What you are saying of the...
Yeah, if you can ask your question once more. You highlighted Pakistan side, that Pakistan side.
I asked you this question. Okay, hear my question again. Raja, hear my question. If my question was not audible to you,
involved in cross-border terrorism, especially when it comes from Pakistan's western border. You have been constantly using it. Kulbhushan Jadhav is one of the examples of it. And now world is coming to terms with it, that India is the country that is involved in global terrorism. I'm talking about whatever is happening against the leadership of Khalistan. I'm talking about all of the Sikhs who are...
What happened? You talk about Kulbhushan. I can talk about Javed, who was picked up. Who had crossed over. His number belongs to a village. His number is from Pakistan. You have Pakistani IDs that have been recovered. What more do you want me to tell you? If you want to get into rhetoric, I asked you a simple question, Raja. How does your so-called freedom fighters who are there with the cause of Azad Kashmir, how do they really have access to M4 carbine if it's not your army?
With their self-determination, plebiscite is the only solution
there in Pakistan. Any terrorist activity, they have a linkage with Pakistan.
If you
what are you saying?
More troops in there, you can carry on doing that.
Where was Osama bin Laden hiding?
General KK Singh wants to respond.
Where is he in Pakistan?
General KK Singh wants to respond. General KK Singh wants to respond.
Taliban.
General KK Singh.
You are saying India is a terrorist country.
General KK Singh.
United Nations.
Can I get the platform?
General KK Singh.
That is the most high-threat zone of the world.
Thank you.
Okay, can you listen
Raja,
to me?
Raja, you want to
Take a
answer my
break,
question?
and
Hear the
to
other side also. Hear the other side also. Now, Raja, hear the other side. Now, General KK Singh, I want to ask you this question. Please tell me how exactly the so-called as Raja's freedom fighters,
Illegally, okay.
how exactly do they have access to M4 carbine if it is not directly coming in from the army?
I can shout out on you.
People want
I can
determination.
shout out.
They don't
Please
want
keep quiet.
anything else.
Raja, can you keep quiet?
Highlighting. You have been
General KK Singh.
that.
Okay, Farhan, can you
Nobody's happy there. If they
mute
were
this
happy,
guy?
they won't be having these kind of incidents in there. And if people,
can you listen to me?
if they are quiet, that
Why you are shouting? Why you are making?
that you are using the brute force against
Farhan,
them.
can you mute this guy?
Using brute force to silence their voices.
You
And that
see,
is why
who is he?
they seem
Now,
quiet.
the
But as
people,
soon as-
In fact,
people who matters in Pakistan, they are making a point that, Pakistan is shooting on your feet. And he is shouting on top of it that it is a freedom fighter. Can you keep quiet, mister? Please listen. I have listened to you last 20 minutes. Farhan, you ask a question. What is Pakistan and China is doing with with India 2.5 front? It started in 2020, and now we are sitting in end of 2023 in this area of both Poonch, twin districts of Poonch and Rajouri, which they have found it out, which was there also 2003 when Hill Kaka and in Surankot area. Now today's incident has taken in Kera Kali, where even there is brought it out M4 carbine, M4 rifle with the steel bullet has been found. Over and above, before this, when it happened on 5th May, prior to this, Asim Munir has gone to China. He has just returned back, and then there was an operation in which the Chinese ammunition, Chinese medicine, Chinese logistical force with the terrorists who were killed. It is a direct proof of Pakistan is totally involved through China. China is twisting the tail and trying to do it. The people who matters in Pakistan is saying that Pakistan is putting in his own foot. And the whole responsibility they are giving it their Pakistan army. And here, someone who is sitting on your channel and making audacity to make a statement that they are the freedom fighters. Listen, mister.
What are they then?
Listen
They are
to me,
anything
please.
but freedom fighters,
After-
ladies and gentlemen. General KK said, I'm really running short of time. Gentlemen. I'm really running short of time. But Raja, let's admit it. They're anything but freedom fighters. You have to at least admit the fact that you are spending a considerable amount of time training them. The change that has actually taken place is that now you are no longer training them across the border, not closer to the border. You are taking them right inside Pakistan, training them and sending them back. But okay, I'm really running short of time. But I promise I'll get you back, Raja. I'll get you back again, and I'm going to ask you that question again. That next time when you come and say that these are freedom fighters, please tell me which freedom fighter was actually getting access to M4 carbine, which is part of your ammunition depot. So thank you very much, Raja. I'll get you back again tomorrow. But thank you very much, General KK Singh, as well as General Soy, for joining us on the burning question